5-minute forecast weekly tarot from Monday the 10th of November through to Sunday the 16th of November. And the first card we have, it's interesting following on from last week's card where we had the Tower in reverse. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And why I say it's interesting, it's because these scales, if they were upside down, they'd be fairly tangled. So if you haven't made some sort of a change last week to avert that car crash, we'll call it, I think that this is the beginning of this week where you've got tangled scales, and scales always work better if they're balanced. But you can turn your cards around. That's why I like the tarot cards so much, is that you can turn them around and make this upright again. And it just means that you've got to take control, a little bit like the Hierophant last week had a lot of red on. That's your base root chakra, getting grounded, going for those walks, writing things down into a list so that you're not missing some pivotal decision or pivotal point, progression. You don't want to miss one step really, because that can mean that your card's going to be like that again and your scales are going to be all tangled. With this card, what I like is, again, the Hierophant had followers watching what he was doing. These two people here are looking up at you for sort of guidance, I guess. And you're a bit of a teacher, a bit of a wise one when this card is upright, to do with how you manage and function with your lives. And you're handing some coins to this fellow and giving them some good advice, because your scales have been balanced for a very long time now. You were once in the situation that they are in now, but you are now able to give a helping hand and give some advice and be like a teacher to these people. So when I'm seeing it in reverse at the beginning of this week, it does concern me that you perhaps are still working on the old way and the old frame of things. Change your frame of thinking, change your stance on it, look above like that eagle looking down at the bigger picture, and make some changes this week. And I don't mind this card because it says that you are fairly active, like the Knights are all about action and making things happen. They can rush in a little bit too quickly. So maybe at the beginning of the week, if you make that list and you think, oh, I'm going to sleep on that before I tell the staff, say, and you sleep on it and you wake up in the morning and you think, goodness me, I forgot blah, 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 one of the main points that you needed to get across to the staff. So that would be you giving a little bit of time out, not being like the Knight and rushing in, because there's going to be obstacles that you're going to come across here and speed bumps if you do rush in. You're very creative. You're all about, I want to get it happening. I've had this brilliant aha moment and I want to really make and start this process beginning. But you know what? Because there's your wands with lots of foliage on it and you've got confidence. You just need to hold the reins a little bit tighter on your wild horse. And you know what? The last card is the Two of Swords, and thoughts are what can really bring us apart and make us sort of go off track again. So just put down your thoughts. Again, this writing it down and making a list keeps on being told to me, because if you've got all this wisdom from these thoughts here and deep thinking that this person has, and you're coming from a place of spiritual pureness and awareness and awakeness and standing or sitting, in her case, on your intuition, which is the lilac of the third eye, if you put down your information onto paper or confer with somebody who you trust, it will allow you to take this blindfold off and really see. Also, you've got to undo your arms though, because that looks like to me that I'm scared of opening my heart. I'm scared of taking that risk again and opening my business or getting on a dating app or whatever, or confronting my son or daughter or husband. You're going to have to be open-hearted by the end of the week, because these swords and thoughts are going to keep you blindfolded. They're going to keep you stuck again. We don't want that. So 6, and the Knight is one. That's 7, 8, 9. 9 is the end of a spiritual journey, which means that you're heading towards a new beginning. And I think these are the last few little tips that you need to put the dot on the I's and the cross on the T's. Have a lovely week, everyone.